following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. We're going to change the format here a little bit today. We've got Rich Anderson's going to be our guest at the break. Folks, we had some very significant things happen yesterday, and they're very, very important. The first one I posted was the forecast from our newsletter that we do every weekend. You'll notice that we were looking for the market to get down to that 2,600 level. In the S&P, we flat out did that, spot on, and now we've had a little bit of a rally of about 62 points overnight and a little bit at the end of the day yesterday, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is what's happening with these stocks known as the FANG stocks. I'm going to bring these up to you and let you take a look at them one by one, because if we start going below those lows that we made yesterday, wow. That's not very good. I mean, there's Netflix, as you can see. Look at Amazon, boys and girls. This stock is down 500 points from its high, and look where it stopped. It stopped at an exactly 78% retracement of the low in April and a perfect ABCD format. Anything below that, boy, look out. It could really get nasty. So be prepared, because there's all kinds of things that could be happening. Even Apple, who's been the leader of the pack, we almost made that price objective. We missed it by about $2 in the Apple. We were looking at to come in at around 0.3. It came in around 0.5.5. And then, of course, if we look at, just get the other ones in here so we can make sure we don't miss anyone. We want to look at Google here. It's the same thing with Google. It's just unbelievable that they hit all of the ABCD patterns. You just don't see that. Amazon's down $42 pre-market. Oh boy, that's a really bad sign. That's a really bad sign. Maybe the rest of them will start doing it. And Facebook, the same thing with Facebook. We'll put it up and take a look at it here, because if we break below this, folks, we could be looking. I'll show you what we could be looking at here. Let me just get this up here. And if we fail these lows, this is what we could be looking at. Just give me 1 second here. If I can find where's that long-term price objective? Give me 1 second, and then I'll see if I can dig it up here. Oh, shut the front door. I get all these ready, and then when I got too many of them here, and it makes it too hard to pull them up. So let me see if I can find that long-term price objective. No, but I can tell you what it is. It's at 2,000. 2,000. We're at 2,600 right now in the S&P. The number is 2,000. What we're looking at. This might be it. Hold on. There it is. Hold on. Here it is. This is what we put in the newsletter. Let's get this up here. Take a look at it. You'll see that if we take out those lows that we made here, we could be looking at 300 points down. And then 500 points down, and then possibly 650 points down. I know you don't think that can happen, but it's a possibility. And I'm telling you this because if you don't use stops, you put yourself in harm's way, and you don't want to do that. I mean, the fact that Amazon's going to open down below that ABCD number is not a good sign, but the market has weakened up dramatically. We were just 20 handles higher not more than an hour ago, and now we've dropped down into the 2641 level. The key level, of course, is just take a quick look. Right now, it's acting, relatively good. We're just making a 382 retracement of the move that we had from yesterday. That 382 retracement comes in at right where we're trading right now at 2640. So if we can hold this 2640, it's got a little bit of a chance, and keep an eye on that. It's going to be very, very interesting to see if we can hold it. All of these things hit the main target, so I'm not sure I'm an ABC type person, ABCD, and when these ABCD, when D's go bye-bye, look out. They can go a great deal to the downside. Regarding the gold, we've now broken $25 from the high. We rallied back $5 so far this morning. There's should be some resistance up around the 1231 level, I believe, in the gold if we get it to that level. By the way, we want to thank our good friend Bob from Spokane for telling us about the natural gas yesterday. It was down there trading at 311. We just hit 328 just a little while ago. That's 1,800 handles. $1,800. So if you did that, make sure you send your checks in to general delivery to Spokane Bob. I think he would love to see those checks. The bond market, we've had a little bit of a sell-off in the bond market. We're having a little bit of a rally. We completed an ABCD pattern in that this morning, down around the 138.20 level. Mr. Z was pointing that out to us. Talking about crude oil, we've been very bearish for crude oil here. We thought that it had a chance to hold, but when it didn't, look out. Once it went below 66.60, folks, that was $1,000 ago. It was really telling you that it wanted to go far south. So pay attention to that one, because it's breaking major support now, and that's not a good sign. And it's doing it with supposedly bullish news. The bullish news being, of course, the fact that this thing with Saudi Arabia is overblown. So we'll be able to see now that the S&P just broke below the 382 retracement of that big move yesterday. The only other one you can really pay close attention to, folks, let's just get this up here to take a look at it here, is the 61% retracement comes in 12 handles lower at 62.26. But if we start getting below 26 even, you're looking at you're looking at a really bad day in the market. So just be very, very, very careful. That's the bottom line, and that's all I can mention to you is just be careful. That's all I can say. We live in interesting times, is the old Chinese curse, so pay attention to these markets and be sure that you use stops, because if you don't, you're telling the market that you know more than the market does, and I can tell you that right now, that's not how it operates. So keep in mind that that's what happens as we look at some of these things. Now, someone's asked a question about one other stock, and that is Microsoft. Microsoft has sold off also. In fact, all of these stocks have sold off, folks. We had a major top made in the stock market way back on September the 1st. That was a huge pattern up there that we talked about it many, many times. And look, and here's another. The NASDAQ did exactly the same thing. The NASDAQ came down and made a well, Bob, you were the one that told us about the natural gas. I know Mr. Z was highlighting it in the room, but you came out and mentioned that it was trading right there, and it just happened to be right at the right spot. You can see this pattern here in the NASDAQ. We had the big three-drive pattern. Then we had the Gartley pattern following that. Couldn't make new highs. And then down we go, and we've made those objectives now, folks. This is the one from the newsletter, and we have completed those. So if we give up today, this is not a good sign. So we're starting to sell off early in the morning. So that's what we usually do. We haven't opened, of course, and there's still a chance that we could get a bounce from this level. So we'll just watch it very, very closely to see how well these things are going to hold up. That's really what you're trying to do here. But we're trading at 26.36. Remember, the number we're looking at is 26.26. Below that, you're starting to see trouble in River City already.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profile So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary Power Law Vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of the Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, we want to take a look at this dollar index like we did yesterday. We're still in this trading range. If we break below 113 in the euro, that is going to be very, very negative, as we mentioned. That would mean the dollar index is going to be getting above that 97 level. So be very, very careful. We have a really big astro event coming in tomorrow. We have Mercury's changing signs, and then we've got Venus is conjunct. Venus is in opposition with Uranus, and then Venus is also changing signs. So we have Mercury and Venus both changing signs tomorrow. So that is usually an important sign. At least the ancients thought changing sign was a very, very important thing. Remember, those change of signs things, they're basically something that made up by the astrologers, because not really much happens other than them moving from one sign to the next out of the 12 signs of the zodiac. I've also posted a chart here of the Nikkei Dow, because it's up about 1% today after being hammered quite a bit. Now, we got down and hit that 78% level, but the $64 question is at another 500 points is the ABCD, so we need to be able to make that. Would someone please tell me the last on Amazon is at 1458, 1484. How much lower is that than the previous low? Can someone tell me that? Because that to me, that's important if Amazon's, giving up the ghost in here. Folks, there's one other thing that could really be affecting these markets that no one talks about, and that is Mr. Trump, the president, has always been talking about how good the stock market's been, and if you can, that is much lower, isn't it, Jim? It's another $30, $40. Okay, yeah, General Electric is headed to 5 or lower. But anyway, Trump has always said how good the economy is, which it has been, and the stock market's been very good. But we've got an election coming up here, and if this market gives up, this is not going to be good for the Republican Party, in my opinion, because you know who they're going to blame. And whoever the blame is, it don't make any difference, because that would be another factor that people will be talking about. Of course, that's a week from today, and that'll be wild stuff. And like I said, hey, boys and girls, let me show you something up here. This This is really, let me get, where is this thing at? I got to get this big thing back in here so we can, here, let me look at this chart again. If you go back and look at 1987 and some of these other things, it'll be a buying opportunity if we get it down into that area, folks. So, pick out the things that you like to buy and, look to see what they're at. The fact that we've hit all of these ABCD patterns is truly amazing. But if they fail, that means that there's air under the market, and you don't want to get involved with that because it's going to be pretty tough. We've got a chance, it's got a chance to do it, but, have to wait and see. And remember, there's a lot of things happening in the markets here. Oh, we got a caller today from Detroit, Michigan. John, what can I help you with?
Hey, Larry, love your show. Like to call whenever I can. I want to talk to you about Gordon Chang. I've spoken to you in the past about him. Mm-hmm. He was on the John Batchelor show last night talking about China. Mm-hmm. And
he's with Goldman Sachs, isn't he?
We've got the election coming up.
Yes.
He didn't talk about the election, but I'm going to kind of draw the circle together with that. He's saying that Gordon Chang said on John Batchelor last night that the Chinese economy is really in a pretty bad state, and that the yuan is precipitously low to hitting 7 to 1 towards the dollar. Mm-hmm. But he said what's even more scary is that on the black market, it's taking 8 to 1. Mm-hmm. Okay, to trade yuan for dollars. People are scared to death in China. And if you look at the political atmosphere, their president there has made himself dictator for life.
Yes.
And he is pushing all of his departmental heads to act very aggressively against foreigners. If you recall, when Mike Pompeo met with their Secretary of State, basically, that man went off on Mike Pompeo, and everyone was shocked that he would behave like that. The Chinese don't do that. Well, Gordon Chang says now that Xi himself is getting very, very aggressive. There's apparently been a big roundup of political opposition in China, whether it's military, politicians, businessmen, all on the, I guess they're claiming it's corruption when he says everybody is corrupt over there. Mm-hmm. But it looks like, so Xi made a speech here recently where he's warning his country, his party, the military, we are getting ready for war. They're very, very paranoid that we are going to throw our support big time behind Taiwan. We just sent two, I'm just going to call them destroyers because I'm old school, but two big ships through that strait in the South China Sea between the mainland, apparently, and Taiwan. And that has really freaked the Chinese out. They sent one of their ships to almost bang hulls with one of ours here about a week ago. And the reason I bring this all up is, you always wonder, why is the market in general going down? Everything is going down. Okay. Mm-hmm. And, I know you know Larry Williams. One of his famous things is follow the tracks of big money. And in my estimation, what we're seeing here is we're seeing big money pull back because we could have a war here, a shooting war with China, the way Gordon Chang is talking about. I highly recommend your readers go back and listen to him last night with John Batchelor.
Well, that's certainly interesting. I certainly hope we don't go to that route because that would affect North Korea too, and there's a lot of problems there. But let's keep our prayers that cooler heads will prevail. But God only knows in this type of. Look what Saudi Arabia did, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, look, I know what you're saying. I mean, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
Look at silver. I've been a silver trader. I don't know, for as long as I can remember. I'm 69 years old. And, you talk about it every day. The old story, we're like pushing on a string with silver. We're not going anywhere. It's such a tiny market. You would have thought that thing would have exploded. Yeah. But it's not,
That's the way it looks.
When does the metal ever outperform the stocks, in that industry, whether it's gold stocks or silver stocks? Something
very unusual, very
wrong.
unusual.
drastically wrong. And I want to just say I listen to your show as much as I possibly can.
Well, thank you.
I love your insights and the guests, Stan Harley and Norm Winston and those guys.
And we'll have Rich Anderson on in about 4 minutes. So listen, thanks for calling in, John, and I hope everything works out for you.
And thank you very much for your show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, John.
Okay.
Oh, you bet. Okay, folks, we're going to have Rich Anderson. We're trading at 2642. So far, the 50% retracement level in the S&P has held. As long as we can stay above that 2634, we've got a little bit of chance of a rally here in the market to see what's going on. No matter what happens, folks, everybody has an opinion. And as we usually say, you know what happens to that. Anyway, let's get back with Rich Anderson in about 4 minutes, and we'll talk about some grains and some cattle and some gold and a few other things. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks. We've got Rich Anderson on the line of Anderson Capital Management. Rich, how are you doing today?
Doing great. At least it's not snowing. Forecast for 9 to 12 inches next week. So.
Oh boy, you gotta head down to Florida. Rich, what do you think about this volatility? You got any comments about the stocks or anything? What are you seeing?
Well, what your listeners need to understand is that there are a lot of robots and algos that are trading in these markets, and they really, make these things move. So these robots are constantly searching for any news story, and they're for keywords, right? Mm-hmm. Now, they can do this in nanoseconds faster than you or I can blink. And they see that keyword, and automatically they start to buy, or they start to sell. Mm-hmm. And then that trips in an algo who knows that if it goes below X or goes above X, I'll buy or sell some stuff. And those are the kinds of swishes we're getting. It's wonderful if you're a short-term trader. I personally think that this is wave one of what will eventually be a five-wave bear market. And but there's just so many things on the horizon. Mm-hmm. And every day that the president says something or she says something, you got the senator of Missouri, calling other Democratic senators crazy, So you got all these politicians out there saying stuff. When a Democratic senator is calling other Democratic senators crazy, these robots are constantly sifting through all these news feeds, and they see something, and that's what's causing these swishes. And you got to be mighty quick and use stops, trade smaller, or use options. I've always been a big proponent of options, and you got to limit your risk. And the way some of these markets swish, stops.
Oh yes. If you don't use stops, if you don't use stops, you don't use stops in these kind of markets, you're going to be looking for a new job. Right. Tomorrow's show, Rich, we're going to have Paula Douglas is going to be my guest. She's carrying March's torch, so we're going to have a really good show with her. We have a question about the crude oil. I posted the chart in here in the room, and we've broken down really big time. We're below the $66 a barrel, right in the midst of supposedly all this bullish news of cutback in Saudi and Iranian production and everything else. So any feeling you have here on the oil, what's going on?
Well, you have to read in between the lines. The Saudis have a political news story issue that they're trying to get tamped down. Turkey's trying to become a relevant leader by, putting pressure on them, and so they need the U.S. help. Well, they'll pump more barrels of oil to help lower the price of oil in exchange for some help. The Davos in the desert didn't exactly go as planned last week because of the news story, and we're talking about the incident where the writer got killed in Turkey.
Yeah, it's always a sad situation.
So Rich, I think that in exchange for tacit support, they're pumping like crazy, and that's dropped the price of oil back down.
Rich, what do you think of the situation with the grain markets and the tariffs? What do you think is going on there?
Well, the Chinese are being pinched. If you noticed yesterday, they've changed their guidelines for what you can feed hogs because they need soybean meal. That's the way the hogs gain the maximum amount of pounds and have the best tasting meat and the best texture of the meat. Mm-hmm. And so now they're trying to. The bottom line is they need X amount of soybeans, and if they're not buying it from us, they're going to buy it from South America. Then South America is going to buy it from us to sell to them. It just doesn't work that way. They tried when DDG's dried distiller grain first came out. They thought, well, geez, we'll replace the same amount of protein. We'll replace that with meal in the rations. Well, then what they found out is that there was no texture and muscling to the meat, and the consumer didn't like it. Believe me, all you have to do is look at the Chinese stocks. They're being hurt. They need to come together. The two leaders, have to get over their egos and make this thing work for everybody.
Well, that's true.
At the G20 on November 30th and December 1st, they can give a nod to each other and get the undersecretaries to cut some deal. Transfer of intellectual property has been going on for too long, and the rest of the world basically is doing the same view as Trump. It's just that nobody else has that kind of guts.
Yeah, well, he's the one that calls it. What do you think? What's coming up in the election, Rich? What do you think will happen with the election, and how will it affect the markets? You have any idea?
Anybody that has any idea what's going to happen in the election. It's way. I think they're delusional. We didn't have any idea what was going to happen in the last election. I think that the Republicans keep the Senate. I think the Democrats probably take the House. Markets like stalemate. But you swing too much one way or the other, and that's not good. And you need checks and balances. That's what this country's built on. But you also need the rule of law. And one of the rules of law is your presumption of innocence. Well, we forgot about that when we had this last Supreme Court nomination. And we've got these people leaving their countries because they don't have any rule of law. Well, Milton Friedman said it best in the 1970s. You can either have welfare in your country or you can have borders. But you can't have welfare with no borders. Now, every person in this country that plans on Social Security, Medicare, whatever, if we have the world come, it doesn't work. We're broke.
That's what happened in Venezuela and some of the other socialist things. Who knows?
Death rate increased 66% on births. Average person has lost 25 pounds. Well, that might not be all that bad for your average American to lose 25 pounds. But let's have it as a choice rather than a forced deal.
Yeah,
and toilet paper is a luxury item.
Yeah, that's always tough. Rich, what do you think about the grain markets in here? We're finishing up the harvesting. Do you think we're going to have enough demand or any demand coming out of China to get the markets to rally a little bit?
Well, as I said, the demand will come out of China, whether they'll buy more beans than South America has, and South America has to buy them from us. I mean, they're going to have to use X amount of beans. And, I think it's going to find. Right now we're in trading ranges. We might retest those one more time, but then the demand is growing. The soybean demand has increased about 4.5% a year for the last 20 years. That's because people are getting out of poverty. We now have more people in the middle class than in poverty, and around the world. And middle class in China is different. The definition of middle class in the United States, but there's increased use as you move up in your income. You use more protein, and that takes more soybean oil for cooking, etc. But these are also markets to trade, but you got to control your risk. You got to know what your edge is. I mean, these are all things that Mark Douglas taught me and that you have taught me, and that's how you make the money.
One final question. What about the hogs? Are they still bothered with this disease that they've had in China?
Absolutely, and it's just a Dickens. You can spray like crazy and all that, but birds fly in and out of these facilities.
Yeah.
and so it's awfully hard to kill them. And when the virus can last 1,000 days in a freezer, that's a tough virus.
Yeah. Hey, Rich, thanks for joining us, buddy. We'll have you going soon, and stay warm.
Hey, retirement isn't all bad, man.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today. Jason Path has just launched his weekly newsletter, The Quantitative Edge, available only at TFNN.com. Right now, you can sign up for Jason's outstanding weekly report, including midweek updates whenever warranted, with a 30-day money-back guarantee included, so you have nothing to risk. Jason develops his trade recommendations by creating an ensemble of predictive and mathematical models trained on data by leveraging a variety of techniques, including market-based computer simulations. Jason then combines these S&P's sophisticated predictive and analytical models with deeply researched macro outlooks to identify opportunities in a number of different markets for traders to act on. Whether you're looking to trade futures, equities, commodities like crude oil and gold, forex, or cryptos, Jason covers it all. Sign up for Jason Paff's weekly trading newsletter right now by visiting the front page of TFNN.com, and you'll find the Quantitative Edge under the Newsletters tab. TFNN.com, educating investors. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, folks, I've posted the chart of Amazon up here, and what I'd like you to see, we did gap lower. We opened at 1486. We went down to 1476. I've marked that with a red box. That was exactly the 1.618 expansion of that move from the ABCD from September. That was the expansion move. If we go below 1476, today, folks, they're in big trouble. So I've got my limit minder set. If we get below that, we're probably going to be looking at something really nasty in stocks. We've rallied 20 handles here very quickly here in the stock market in the last, the last 15 minutes or so, and now we're going to see, what happens with the rest of the move as we start to look at some of these other things that are occurring. Gold's rallied about $6 off the bottom. It had a major top up there, what we believe at 1246. Whether that's going to be the case or not, but pay close attention to these FANG stocks, folks, because if they do start to give up, that's going to be the sign that there's something really sinister happening. I don't believe that's going to happen because the volatility index is not telling us that, but I think we really need to pay attention to it today because of the fact that it is, very, very critical, to watch how these markets react with some of the news. But as long as we can stay above that 1476 in Amazon, I think we've got a pretty good chance. We're trading at 1489 right now, so that's 1492. It's jumping around $3-4 at a time, so that's normal to take a look at it as we watch this. Okay, one of the questions that someone asked was about the wheat market. The wheat market is trading at around 502 per bushel. We had a pretty good rally off of the 1.27 expansion down there at 488. The 61% retracement comes in right around the 496 level. I don't have a chart for that right now, but it is pretty close to that level. See, 486. Yeah, it would be exactly at 495, so it's about 7 cents away, and you don't want to risk any more than about 8 cents in wheat because that's $400. You can become a farmer for $400. That's really, all you really need to be watching. So we'll be keeping a close eye on some of these as we see them unfold through the morning. Right now, the Treasury bonds are trading at 138.28. Long term, these are still very, very bearish. We're in the midst of a little bit of a rally this morning. Not very much, only about 10, 12 points, which in bonds is quite a bit, $300. But those are the ones that we're keeping a really close eye on. So any move in these stocks that we've posted there, and that's including the NASDAQ too. As long as those lows hold from yesterday, that's a very important spot because all of them hit those ABCD points. Now, granted, Amazon did gap lower, but it's still it still held that 1.618 expansion. That's the line in the sand. Below that, you're looking at something really, really sinister. So watch those very, very closely because we're trading at 14.90 in Amazon. Anything below 14.76. Remember, the opening price is 14.86, so that should be another one to look at. We just hit 87 here just a minute ago, but when the stock is $1,400, it moves $4 or $5 without any trouble at all. Also, I'm going to start a GoFundMe page for Mr. Bezos so that he doesn't lose anything during this little sell-off that we've had here in the market, so that he's not going to be, bothered with any losses that might affect his buying and selling of yachts or whatever the people with the $1 billion do. We'll have to pay attention. Someone's asked a question about the natural gas. We got all the way up to 327.5, and we backed off just a little bit. We're only trading down about $3 from there, 324. That was a huge move yesterday. We want to thank Bob from Spokane, as I mentioned, and also Mr. Z. Both of them were spot on that move. So it's a pretty interesting one to pay attention to. So these are, some of the little things that we're looking at. One of the advantages of coming into the Tiger Den is you got some really smart people in there, folks. Some of the trades don't work, of course, but in general, the odds are, pretty heavily favored in your favor, and that's the main thing that you want to keep in mind, that's what you'd like to see happen. So pay attention to these because when they occur very, very quickly and they move fast, just like that natural gas move was a really big move, and we'll see with others coming. We've got some support way down here at $65 a barrel in the crude oil, but it's just a bounce support. It's broken major support there, folks, at 6,600. We've rallied up to 65.90s from that bottom this morning, but that is a really negative chart as far as anything happening to it from a really long-term move. So that's what we're watching in here. Hold on, we've got a question coming in. We want to see what it is, and we'll have the GDX. Let me do that for you, Tucker, and I'll see if I can get the GDX up here. The other one we ought to look at is that XAU. It's been under a great deal of trouble. And we'll get GDX, and here we go. There, we got it, and we'll be there in just a second here. It's had a big gap down here the last couple of days, and you'll be able to see that it's not a very bullish chart. It just made the ABC. Let me draw the pattern in, Tucker. Hold on one second, and you'll be able to see it a little bit better. If I draw in the ABCD structure on this, it'll highlight it a whole lot better, and you'll be able to see it real easily. Here it comes. No extra charge. We went up and we made that 382 retracement up there at 2064. We're down about 5% right away. Whether that's going to be a major top or not, I believe that it is because of the way that the gold has been acting. We're $20 under the high. We were $25 under the high, so that's going to be an interesting one to see what's going to happen. The key today, folks, is yesterday's low in that stock market. That's really tantamount because we start going below that, you're looking at some real serious problems, and that you want to get involved with those because they can really cause a lot of problem to your equity run, and you don't want to get involved with that kind of stuff. So be careful. It's as the old Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times, and you don't want to get involved with that too much. So pay attention to it because we're right at those levels. That is very, very important, and whether they hold or not is going to be a real interesting thing to see. So just keep in mind that that's what we're watching. So, and here we go with the rest of the markets here. Well, we got the Dow, NASDAQ selling off again. They must be hammering the Amazon again. Let's just double check Amazon to see if we're still staying above that coveted level that we talked about, which is 476. And this is the darling of the stock market, folks. You know how many of these big boys are in this stock? We're at 497, so it's holding up nicely. Yeah, it's not a problem at all. We're doing okay. Long as that, watch that, keep an eye on Amazon, because I know, because if it can get up on the day, then you're going to have a pretty good run in some of these markets. So be very careful with them. Always use stops, folks, because if you don't, you're in a situation where you're going to be looking at something that's going to be pretty sinister, and you don't want to get involved with that for sure. That's the way that you have to protect yourself, because if you don't, you're just looking at something that's going to be not very pretty. That's the bottom line. We're going to have to take a little break here, and then when we get back, we're going to be talking about the overall market. 877-927-6648.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks. We just jumped $30 in Amazon, so they're way above the opening price now. You could just mark that 1486. That's the open in Amazon, and as long as we can stay above that, we've got a pretty good chance to see the market rally. That's the way it looks like this morning, so we'll keep a close eye on it. We've got the gold trading at 1226. We went short that around the 1235 level, and our stops now are at break even on that. We're looking at much lower prices. We believe that this action that we've seen in the gold-silver index, along with the weakness in silver. I mean, silver is just acting incredibly weak. I mean, it's just, it really doesn't even have a bounce of any kind of animal, puppy or cat. But we'll see. The overall pattern in the gold, of course, was a major ABCD pattern on a weekly basis coming in at 1246. We highlighted that in the letter and also on the 24/7. As far as the currencies, we're still trading above that 1300 level in the euro. We're trading around 1375. Any move below that level of 1340 would certainly tell us that we're going to be going, a lot lower. But right now, it's just in the middle of a range. It's, having a little 30-point rally off of the early morning low, which is still actually a very bearish scenario. So those are just some of the things that we're keeping a close eye on this morning. The crude oil, pay close attention, folks, because that $65 a barrel level is a 1.27 expansion. That may or may not hold it, but it's something that you should pay attention to it, if nothing else. That's really what you really want to try to keep in mind as you're looking at some of these things unfold. I hope this helps this morning, because this what's going on with the gold and also these FANG stocks, very important, folks, because they hit all of those major ABCD patterns, and that's really what's happened. 877-927-6648.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks!